How's everyone doing? Welcome back to the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson, and I hope everyone's having a great day out there today, as they usually say. I first want to come on here. I always like to start these episodes off with gratitude. Every time I can kind of think of it, unless it's just like a heavy subject, I'm just trying to get it out there. We're just trying to move the ball forward, get her done. But I would just like to, just thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing to these episodes. Hopefully there's something in these episodes that you could use. Like I always say before, I just started this podcast just for up and coming entrepreneurs, or those people who wanted to break away from the 9 to 5 and they just kind of need a small foundation, or need some information that they could transition into being an entrepreneur. So this wasn't for the seasoned vets of entrepreneurship, the ones who's making $100 million or what. But hopefully there's something in these messages that in these episodes that you guys can take away from these episodes, and if not, just like eat the meat, leave the bones, give it to someone else. Maybe there's someone else that needs this information. You don't need it. You have a team doing the work for you. You rather do something else with your time, so that's completely fine, man. Maybe it's someone, maybe a colleague or someone that could use this information. Just pass it on to them. Pass this channel on to them at the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is the place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and your visions. So, just pass this on. Okay, today we're going to have a good episode for you. Today's episode is going to be the blueprint to business brilliance. So I'm just going to give you the blueprint to business brilliance. I'm going to give you 3 talk points here as I usually do. Same thing, man. If you're familiar with this channel, you're familiar with our infamous 3 talk points. And I do that for time's sake, and it kind of helps me to stay on track as well. So number 1, vision before victory. So this is one point, the blueprint to business brilliance. The first thing you need to have is vision. Before you can have a good victory, before you can make a couple sales and things like that, but before any of that is even possible, before it's even possible making your first $1 million, before it's even possible selling your first subscription to your product, selling your company, before any of that is even possible, you need to have a vision. Have a vision, write it down, make it plain so that you know where you're headed in life and what you want to do with your life. Have a vision. You're supposed to have a vision in your personal life. So you are going to need a vision for the business that you want to create. So let's keep that in mind. So have a vision. The vision comes before the victory. You don't have anything to win at if you don't have a vision. How do I know that I've reached a certain threshold? How do I know that I'm getting to a certain place if I don't have a target? So your vision is your target, and I'm going to tell you something. Your vision is always going to outweigh your resources at the time. So the time that, just say I wanted to start this podcast, I wanted to start this business podcast, it seemed easy at first, but I'm thinking, I don't have a mic. I don't have certain things. Sometimes I recorded episodes just walking down the streets of Manhattan, or finding somewhere, outside of the library. So I started this podcast, just doing it wherever. So you have to start with what you have, but your vision has to be so big that you have to understand that there's no way I can accomplish this on my own. It's going to be a process. So and you're going to need God as well. So a lot of people don't want to hear that. They think, if I just do this and do that, or someone gives me a loan and this and that. But I'm going to tell you, you need some type of spiritual backing. Everything that you do in this life is spiritual to some degree. Well, it's all spiritual. But I'm just saying, God, the source of all things, is the highest form of authority in the spiritual realm, the Most High. So that's why I say go with God, not just for the spiritual protection, but for guidance, through the Spirit of God. Some people don't want to hear that. That's cool. Skip over this part if that's not for you, but to someone who I'm talking to, I'm giving you advice from my standpoint as an entrepreneur. I'm giving you advice from my standpoint and from my experience as, you know what I mean, being a business owner, and you know what I mean, having employees and traveling and doing all those things. I haven't done any of those things. I haven't traveled lately, but I'm giving you advice from my experiences in life, dealing with business, dealing with business partners, dealing with, you know what I mean, with God in business, you know what I mean, having a kingdom mindset, creating generational wealth, all those things. That's just who I am, and then that's who you're going to get on this channel. I'm a person that loves God. I'm a person that, you know what I mean, does business with God. You know, if God gives me an idea, I try to execute that idea. If God gives me, you know what I mean, something to do, I try to do it before it just whisks away. So I had an idea about starting a cooking show. So I wanted to start the cooking show. So before, I was thinking like, man, I don't have everything that I need to start the cooking show, but I wrote down the vision. And when I wrote down the vision, you know, as I started to write down the vision, God started giving me more. So sometimes if you just take the first step, a lot of times, man, in life, that second step doesn't appear until you step on the first step. That's like walking by faith. I'm going to write the vision down. I don't have the money right now. I don't have the products. I don't have the clients, but I'm just going to write down what I want to do. And once you take that first step, it seems like the second step magically appears. So, you know what I mean? But once you take those small steps, another step appears. So you don't know where you're going. Don't know how you're going to get there. You don't know exactly, you know, what time span is going to be. You know, some people say, man, I want to do this within the next year. Yeah, you work hard at it. It can be done within the next year. But there's a lot of things that you need to learn besides just getting the money and opening up the business. But it all starts with vision. There's more things that you need to learn in your own personal development as being a leader of a company or being a founder of a company. You have to be able to be sympathetic when it comes to certain employees needing to take off, certain things that has to do with their children, school. There's certain things that you have to put certain precautions in place and rules, and you have to create a company culture that helps build the business and, you know, and make people want to come to work. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of other things you have to do. So there's a lot of other things you have to do as well. So it's not just about being a business owner. It's about you in the process of pursuing your dreams and your goals, cultivating and building the person who is the business owner. You know what I mean? Anyone can own a business, but you know what I mean? And that business could own you. So, you know, you want to be the person that owns the business, runs the business, not the business running you and not the business owning you and owning all your time. But you will learn all these things in the process of becoming a business owner. So have a vision. It all starts with vision first. I have to write that down. So I didn't start winning when I had money. I started winning when I had clarity. So, you know what I mean? You don't start winning when you have money. That's not when you win. You win when you have clarity. What exactly do I want to do? And what steps do I need to take to make sure I can accomplish that? Let's just say this, you know, just say if I don't have health care and I'm like, man, I need health care. Okay, I need help. Now, what steps do I take to make sure that I can get health care, you know what I mean, so that I could, you know, go to the doctor or go here or go there. So, you know what I mean? But the first thing is a vision for what you need and what you want. And we do this every day. The thing is that people don't understand that they have vision. They have vision. If you can think like, man, I need to go to the store and go and get some eggs. That is a vision that you created in your mind, and then now you're taking that action to go and get the groceries. You know what I mean? You can do the same thing. It's just going to be a different process when you're building a business. What kind of business do I want? You know what I mean? You have to write it down. You know what I mean? You have to envision it, write it down, and then take the small steps towards, man, people use their vision every day. Man, I was just thinking earlier, man, just out the blue. Like, man, I had this cake mix, man, I might just go ahead and bake a cake, just out the whim. But the thing is just having that vision, so that vision becomes the target or the goal of you accomplishing something. So we do it all day, every day, man. When you want to get ready for work, you say, man, what shirt should I wear? What tie should I wear? What shoes should I put on? So you are envisioning, you know what I mean, what you want to do. And that is the same thing. You can take that same outlook on life and every day and apply that to your business or to your goals that you have aiming towards business. But that's when I started winning, man. I started winning when I had clarity. And sometimes you can have, you can still, now people, don't get me wrong here, but I want to tell you something. If you have mapped out a system that works for you, you can still win while being confused. Now, if you have already put together a system that helps life run or help your business run by itself, you can fall into confusion. You can fall behind in marketing, and your business, you can still flourish because you have taken the time to build a foundation that business can run on, or build systems that business can run on. So one day, man, you might not be having a good day, but the business is still running good because you have created a system where it runs automatically and you can continue to rake in that revenue. So, you know what I mean? You don't have to know it all. You don't have to have it all together. Some days you're going to be confused. Some days you're going to be misunderstood. Some days you're just not going to be up to the task. But if you put together a system, and these are things that you need to learn before just getting the money. You can go and leverage your personal credit and get a line of credit. You get $100,000 line of credit. Right now I can create a business from scratch. I can spend $500, turn it into an LLC, and then what we'll do is I can find someone that has 700, let's say a 700 credit score, and I can give them 25% of the business for them leveraging their own personal credit for us to get a $250,000 loan. So if someone has good credit in your family and you have a business, give them 25% of the business, put them on the operating agreement as 25% owner of the company. And anyone that owns 25% or more of the company will be able to leverage their personal credit in order to get a loan. If you guys haven't built any business credit, if you haven't built any business credit by using trade lines, let's say like net 30 accounts, I use CEO Creative to build CEO Creative. I use just any net 30 accounts or trade lines you can use for your business credit to build business credit. My business credit is good, but if you are just now starting a business and you don't have any business credit whatsoever and you have bad personal credit, you can give someone 25% of your 25% of the company, leverage their own credit for you get a $250,000 loan. As you get the loan, and you guys pay the loan back, you're going to have to pay the loan back. And as the business starts to operate and the business starts to flourish, then you can buy back that 25% if you like, or you can let them keep that 25% and let them take dividends, dividends out of the company every quarter, however you guys choose to pay yourself out. But my recommendation though is do not start a company, well, let me not say that, but look into holding companies as well. It'll be easier for you guys to pay yourselves, not only just taking dividends straight out of the company into your own bank account. It's going to be taxed. It's going to be taxed higher. But if you take dividends out and you pay your holding company, then the tax percentage was dropped down at least to like 14%. So you'll go from like 42% or almost half. And these numbers are not correct. These numbers are not correct. But I'm just trying to give you an analogy of the difference. So it is a big difference. So I think probably 15% or let's say it will go from so if you pay yourself directly from the company to your personal bank account, it will cost you more money. That money will be taxed at a higher rate. But if you take those dividends and you send that money to your holding company, and then it would be taxed at a lower rate, and then you pay yourself from your holding company. So that's something that you guys can look into. Look into holding companies, man. They don't have any products or services. What they do is they hold assets. So you know what I mean? I like to use a trust. And then when I use that trust fund owns the holding company, and the holding company owns all of the other companies, and all of those other companies own different types of assets. So, that's the structure that I use. The trust fund, irrevocable trust. It owns the holding company, and the holding company owns the 40 companies. And the 40 companies individually, what they do is they have their own personal assets. Like you might have some real estate. A real estate comes from the restaurant company has real estate. The real estate company has tax liens, you know what I mean? Let's say the fitness company owns gold, you know what I mean? So it has its own different assets, and all those assets are held in the holding company. And the holding company is owned by the trust. So my name is not on anything, you know what I mean? So my name is I am the grantor of the trust. But the trust owns the holding company, and the holding company owns all of the other companies, so my name is nowhere on it. And the holding company, if you do not want your holding company to be public record, you need to get a holding company from Delaware or Wyoming. So Delaware or Wyoming, you do not have to make your holding company public record if you get a holding company or establish a holding company in Wyoming or Delaware. So that way it's not public record. You know what I mean? You won't have to worry about anyone pocket watching you and watching your assets. They'll never even know that you even own that company. So, so Delaware or Wyoming. But I learned that if I could clearly explain where my business was going, I couldn't expect my team or customers to believe in it. So like we just said, man, vision before victory, man. I actually had this problem before. If you cannot clearly explain where you want to go in business or what your business does, no one's going to believe in it. You think somebody's just going to be like, hey, you're not Jesus. You can't just look at somebody and say, man, hey, you follow me. And then people just follow you like Jesus. Jesus just picked people and people did, hey, you too, follow me. And they just followed him. Okay, we're not that good now. We're not, so people are just not going to follow you without having a plan or having a clear, crystal clear vision of where you want to go. So the next thing you need to do before starting the business is work on reiterating your plan. So a lot of times, man, we have these plans that's in our mind, but we don't know how to share that vision with someone else. It's like this, man. For the longest time, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew exactly how I wanted to do it, but I couldn't explain it to someone else. I was just all over the place when I tried to explain it. Like, this is what I want. But, it came to a point where I had to slow down. I had to sometimes I've done, I've talked in the mirror. I've talked to myself. You know what I mean? I've sold things to myself. I would say, I would tell myself, sell me this. You know what I mean? And then I would sit there and sell myself something, and then I would probably record it or something and play it back to myself, kind of see where I messed up at. And then a lot of this stuff is, just a gift that God is giving me on top of that. Yeah, so do those things. Practice what you say. Practice how to sell. Practice sharing your vision, even if you're selling it to yourself. Say, if I wanted someone to invest in my business, how would I explain this business to a point where it will make them a believer in my dreams? So that's the mindset you need to have. So do that, but learn how to clearly explain your vision. And another thing, man, I made a decision to stop chasing opportunities and start building towards a defined destination. When you're just jumping from just chasing opportunities, jumping from this place to that place and this place and that place, you need to just have a defined destination and start working towards that, and you will attract everything else on the way. So just say that, if I'm not just looking for opportunities, I'm not just I'm not cold calling people, I'm just not sending out massive emails. Now, I'm not saying that any of these marketing or sales tactics do not work, because they have been proven to work. Cold calling sometimes work and sometimes it doesn't. And then doing massive emails, using all of the emails that you have from prior purchases or things like that, giving them updates about promotions, discounts, giving them updates about, anything that you have going on in your store or anything that you have going on. So I'm not saying that those mass emails do not work, because they do work. But you have to stop chasing opportunities and start building towards a defined destination. Where do I see this company in 10 years? A defined destination is first, like we just said, having a vision, really understanding the vision, really knowing how to sell that vision to someone else, not just be able to keep it in your mind and someone asks you something, you like, well, I know what I'm doing. And it's just like, man, well, you'll never get anyone to follow you or believe in your dream if you do not know how to sell, make just how you believe in it. You need to be able to tell someone else your dream to make them believe in it. A lot of times when people say, man, you know what, man, I'm going to be a big singer. Nobody's going to believe in that. You know why? Because you're not giving them details or a strategic plan on how you plan on accomplishing being a big singer. You can say, man, I'm going to be a big singer, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these vocal classes. I'm going to take them every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm going to go ahead and book a couple gigs, you know what I mean, at this little bar, this and that. I'm going to start a YouTube channel, and you're going to start building up on you just saying I'm going to be a big singer, or I'm going to own a business. Like, okay, you can be a business owner, but it's hard for me to believe. It's hard for me to be a believer in what you're trying to build if you're not giving me any details. You don't have to give me the full breakdown of details and exactly where you're going to get the money or exactly this and that. But if you want someone to back you up, or you want someone to support what you're doing, you need to be able to sell it and make people believe in it just like you believe in it. So same thing. So number 2, systems that scale, not hustle that burns out. So if you're just not tuning in, this is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. We're coming live from New York City, as we usually do. This is the place where we give you, like I said, the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and your visions. And this episode is called Blueprint to Business Brilliance. The Blueprint to Business Brilliance. But number 2. So our first thought point was vision before victory. Number 2 is systems that scale, not hustle that burns out. So I really realized that I couldn't outwork every problem, but I could out-system the problem. So this is the thing that I need you to understand. We just talked about, if you got a system set in place, it doesn't matter if you got sick. So when you're hustling every day, you can't burn out. But if you set up a system to the point that you don't have to hustle every day, something that kind of works on its own, you will not burn out. So there are some things that I do. I might do some marketing, but there are some things that are on autopilot with each one of my companies. I don't have to do too much. You know why? Because I took all my time and my energy and I built a system that I don't have to be there. So the system is built on what result. This is how you build a system. If I made this burger, I want the same result as if I made it. If anybody else makes this burger, I want the same exact result and quality of this burger. So how do you do that? So you make the burger yourself, and you record yourself making the burger, and then you write out each step on how you made the burger, and then you put that in you train your employees off of that same step or off of that system that you created by making the burger. You know why? Because when you put systems together, I'm gonna tell you this, and this I always tell people. Do you know why you get the same Big Mac in Wisconsin that you get in Texas? The reason why you get the same Big Mac in Wisconsin that you get in Texas is because there is a system set in place to make sure that the Big Mac comes out the same way no matter what McDonald's you go to. McDonald's built a system and said that you're going to use this patty, you're going to use these toppings, you're going to use this bun, and this is how you build that burger. So that is called a system. A system was put in place to make sure that the same quality and the same result for the Big Mac comes out the exact same way no matter what McDonald's you go to in the United States or anywhere else, because a system was put in place. So that's this thing. When you're building a business, you need to build systems that give you the result that you want, but you don't have to be there, because there's a system set in place to make sure that if this car is washed, if you own a car lot, or if this car is detailed and washed, there's a system set in place to make sure that this car will come out to my standard as me being the owner. I want this car, I want it pristine. But the way that I do that is I set a system in place to make sure that they follow this system to make sure that the car comes out at that same desired result every single time. So that's what systems do, and it keeps you from burning out. So when I stopped doing everything myself and built repeatable processes, my business finally began to grow. So your business will not grow if you're doing everything yourself. So what you need to do is you need to set a system in place, and that system works alongside of you as being your co-owner. So you take time to build a system. That system becomes your co-owner, and what it does is basically like your COO. So the systems are your COO. You know what I mean? You're the CEO, and your systems are the COO. It's the Chief Operations Officer. What it does is it keeps everything flowing, and then all you have to do is manage. You know what I mean? Manage, or probably say, okay, man, this area right here is not really a seamless process. So you can always go back and modify systems to make sure that they can get better. So you know what I mean? They can get better and things like that, and that way you don't have to. And when it comes time to, like, let's say, have to fire an employee, or when it comes time to have to let someone go, you do not have to attack their work ethic. You can just tell them that you're not doing things according to our standard, and our standard is this system. So I'm not attacking you. I'm just basically saying that you're not following the systems to make sure that we get the desired result, and we make sure that, and if you don't know how to do that, it's going to ruin our brand awareness. It's going to ruin our customers coming in if you don't make it exactly how we want it made. You know what I mean? So according to the system. So when you have to let someone go, just tell them, man, it's about this. It's about the system. You're not following the system. Because I myself, as an owner, want a desired result for each product or each service every time, no matter who's making it, and it's not coming out like that because you're not following the system. So it's easier to let people go that way as well when they're not following the system. You're not attacking them personally. You're not attacking their work ethic. You're not attacking the hygiene. You're not attacking it, and that's an needs to be a system. But I'm just saying, you have to use that, and with the system, it's easy to let people go if they don't follow the system. But I learned that if my business can run without me for a day, it's not a business, it's a job. If my business cannot run without me for a day, I have created myself a job. You know what I mean? You do not leave your 9-to-5 job and start a new. You left your 9-to-5 job, say, man, you know what? I want to build some generational wealth. I want to be a business owner. You do not leave a 40-hour-a-week job, 9-to-5, and then create an 80-hour-a-week business that you have to be at. That's not the goal. You don't want to work for anybody, but now you're working for yourself, but you're working 80 hours a week. You traded in 40 hours a week and time off, went the time off on the weekends, and now you traded that in for no days off and 80 hours a week running your own business. So we don't want to do that. So what we want to do is we want to set a system in place, and what that system does, it helps the business to run without you being there. You know what I mean? So it helps your business to run, and your business flows. And then if you're not there, if you're sick one day, you know what I mean? It can still run without you. You have permission to go on vacation if you have a system set in place. So that's one thing that I learned, man. If my business cannot run without me for a day, if my business crashes and everything that I built crumbles to the ground because I wasn't there for one day, or I took off one day, then now I'm not running a business. I got a job. You know what I mean? And we don't want to do that. You don't want to create another job. You don't want to leave a job and create another job. So, you know what I mean? So when you're going into business, just kind of figure out exactly what you want to do, how you want to do it, and get your products, services, and things like that. I will one day. I will. Yeah, and I have something good for you guys at the end of this episode. I think I'll do that today. So I have something good. If you make it to the end of the episode, I'm going to give you some instructions. You can contact me, and I'm going to help you to build your business from scratch. So, you know what I mean? I'm going to do 5 people. And you have to pay me anything, and I'm just going to help you build a business from scratch. I'm going to give you some contacts to help leverage your financial leverage your credit so that you can get the business loan. And I'm also if your credit is not good, I will give you some credit dispute letters that you can send into each credit bureau, and they can knock all those things off your credit report, and your credit will be good probably within a month. You have that 700 credit score. All those past collections will be knocked off your credit report. So if your credit is not good, I will send you some credit dispute letters that you can send out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So, but anyways, number 3, resilience, adaptability, and market mastery. So I've been tested by a lot of things. Let's say setbacks, man, that forced me to either quit or evolve. Everything that you go through is going to say, man, how bad do you want it? Are you going to quit or are you going to evolve? To evolve is to go through the pain. Go, man. When I say this, I mean, if you're scared, still do it. People need to do more things that scare them. Now, I'm not saying rob a bank. Some people, I'm scared to rob a bank, but you know what I mean, man? Caleb told me do more things that scare you. Now, I'm not saying go I'm not saying like that. I'm not telling you to jump off a bridge. I'm not telling you to go skydiving, but you need to do more things in your life that scare you. If you just never got online before, man, or you're too scared to show your face, or you're too scared to talk on subjects that you know you're good about, somebody is waiting on you to do it scared. You are robbing someone of your gift that you have in you. You know what I mean? I don't care if you like just tinkering with stuff around the house. Start to record certain things that you do, man. Don't you know that there's somebody out there that will watch you fix things around your home every day, and they just fall in love with your mini series of being a house fixer. You know what I mean? You're cleaning your house, man. Hey, you got a little vlog or something. You just running around as a plumber fixing stuff, man, and recording it, man. People will love it. You know what I mean? Whatever you're doing, man, people will love it, man. I don't even care if you just every day, and some people are like, man, I don't want to record my life like that, but that's cool. But I'm saying you can go thrift shopping, man. Today, man, I'm going to just check out a couple of thrift shops in New York City and just take the phone with you. I promise you, man, people love watching other people for some reason, man. You know what I mean? If you watch TV, that you're watching other people. If you know what I mean? If you're on your phone, you're watching other people. So people love to check out other people's lives. So, man, but do it scared, man. So I want you to do it scared. So when I got tested by setbacks, like I said, it forces you to either evolve or to quit. And what I'm telling you to do right now is I want to help you to evolve. And the only way that you're going to be able to evolve is to be scared and do it anyway. To be tired, but do it anyway. To be rejected, but do it anyway. To be hated and do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way that you are going to be able to evolve. I've done plenty of things tired, did it anyway. You know why I did it anyway? Just because I was tired. I did things scared. You know what I mean? I wasn't used to walking into a place asking for a loan. I wasn't really used to asking for help or for direction in certain areas. So, even scared, I wasn't used to talking to a certain group of people that's in a different economic bracket. I wasn't used to any of those things. But you have to do it anyways, man. Brother, if you do the right thing, people are going to judge you. You do the wrong thing, people are going to judge you based on what people believe is right and wrong. If you talk with a low voice, people think you're weak. If you talk with a bold voice, people think you're prideful. If you dress up, people think you're showing off. If you dress like a bum, people say, man, look at this guy, he doesn't have any good clothes. So anything that you do in life, man, people are going to talk about you. So whatever you want to do in life, do it, man. Just do it, man. Don't worry about what no one has to say. Just do it because, man, like I said, man, time is short, man. Like I said, man, I'm over 30 years old, man. I probably have like 30 years left. I hate to say that, I'm not putting that on myself, but the average person lives to around 65 to 70 years old, and me being 36, so it's probably I'm halfway there. So you know what I mean? So we gotta make these last 30 years, man, we gotta rock out. So, man, that's the same thing with some other people, man. I know it's a lot of other individuals that listen to this podcast, man. You're probably a little bit older. And I'm just telling you, man, if you work for a company for 30 years, man, you're doing it mechanically, just going to work every day, but you don't have any fulfillment in your life, man, do something on the side, man. But take one of your hobbies that you like to do and I don't care if it's hunting or something, man, and start to just start with what you're passionate about, because when you do things that you're passionate about, it doesn't feel like a job. What I'm doing now, I would do it for free. This is actually a free podcast, but I'll do it for free. It's because I love to do it. You know what I mean? I'll give away free information as I continue to grow in business. Whoever listens channel. I like to not hoard or gatekeep the information that I have. I like to give it to other people as well, so that they'll be able to use it and do whatever they want to do with it to be able to help their own lives. There's no reason to gatekeep. I'm not going to tell anyone how to get a car in their business name. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to tell anyone how to fix the credit. I'm the only one that knows. And we don't do that. What we do is, because once I learn something and I share that thing that I've learned, I can't say the same thing every day. People, if I come around you and you telling me about the war in Ukraine, and then the next time I come around you telling me about the war in Ukraine, the next time I'm like, man, have you learned anything else? Like, okay, what is the war about, or what is this? No, and I'm not downplaying war at all, but what I'm saying is any subject. If I come around and the only thing you're talking about is the same thing every day, I can tell that you're not growing. So what I do is I like to learn, and then I like to give that information out of what I've learned as I grow. I like others to grow with me. But that forces me not to be able to regurgitate the same information every time. You know why? Because it forces me to grow. I know that when I come on here, I can't say the same exact thing I said on the last episode. You know why? Because I've already told you that. So I have to continue to grow in order, and it forces me to grow. So you know what I mean? So once I've said, well, I already said that, we already went over that, we already went on that, I need to continue to grow in another area so I can continue to increase my value so that I can give you valuable information. So it forces me to grow as well. But I also learned that adapting doesn't mean abandoning my vision. So it means just adjusting my strategy. So, man, that doesn't mean anything, man. You have to be adaptable. Everything is not going to go your way exactly how you want it to go, when you want it to go that way. It's just not going to happen. It's unrealistic. You have to be the type of person that is adaptable and flexible. You need to be like a business ninja. You know what I mean? You need to be, man, I'm telling you, when this door shuts over here, once this thing is blocked off, you need to be able to, sometimes, I'm going to tell you something, a lot of reasons why obstacles and hardships come into our lives is not to stop us, it's for us to get creative. A lot of times, man, people run into a roadblock. They're just like, man, okay, I gave it everything I had, but they didn't even look to the left of them and see a ladder to get over that roadblock. A lot of times where these roadblocks and these things happen in our lives, it is a way for us to use our creative juices or find a way over, around, or under a problem, or even through a problem. And that's the only reason why it was there. It wasn't put there to stop you. It wasn't put there to frustrate you. It was put there to teach you how to be adaptable. So you know what I mean? So if I need to, let's say, pay a bill, I don't have the money on my card, but I have the cash. You know what I mean? And then the store is too long. It's like a couple miles down, and it's snowed in. How can I pay this bill before my phone gets cut off? I need to scout the area, find the first check cashing place or a regular store to cash. You need to start letting those creative juices, and you just like, well, it's snowing outside. It's the last day to pay my phone bill. I guess my phone is just going to get cut off. You don't accept that. Don't accept for your life to just go the way that it wants to go. You have to take control of your own life. You have to start to figure some things out. So once that happens, it's going to happen. You're going to hit some roadblocks. You're going to go through some things, but those things are there to help you to start to think on a higher level. It's to kind of, be more conscious and be more adaptable and be more flexible when it comes to certain situations. You know what I mean? We do it all the time, man. Especially if you have a woman that doesn't know what she wants to eat. You know what I mean? So you do it, you're adaptable all the time. So, you go in over here, you don't want, so you know what I mean? If you have children, you're adaptable all the time. You have to be adaptable. You know what I mean? I had something I wanted to do, but I can't do that because I have to do this and I got to do this. So you're flexible already. You just have to apply that same principle to business. A lot of things that I'm telling you, we are already a lot of these things. So we use a lot of these skills in our everyday life, but people just don't highlight or recognize that they have all these entrepreneur qualities and these skills that they use every single day already. So, but every challenge taught me how to listen better, to market and serve people at a higher level. So every challenge just taught me how to listen better. You know what I mean? I was hard-headed for a long time in life, and you know what they say about having a hard head. You know what I mean? So, you're going to go through some bumps, some bruises until you say, man, hold on, man. Man, there's a lot of times I had to wait. I had to stop, wait. And I just said, man, I need to, instead of just throwing everything away, I just need to re-strategize and relaunch it. Rebrand it, re-strategize, and relaunch it in another area. We had a company that, which one was it? Well, we had one company that I believe it was the fitness. So we have Gotham Fitness Supply, and I believe it was probably something else. I don't know. I launched the company. It didn't work. It went bad. So what I did was I took that same concept, just fixed it, got rid of the brand name, created a new logo, created another company, and I used what I've learned from that field company and just named it another name and relaunched it as Gotham Fitness Supply. So it was probably, I can't even remember what it was. It was another fitness company or some kind of medical fitness hybrid, and it didn't work. So out of that one company, we got AccuNeuro Medical Supplies. We split the company, AccuNeuro Medical Supplies and Gotham Fitness Supply. So that company, that was a hybrid of like a medical fitness company. We just split those two companies because it just failed horribly. You know what I mean? It's just a bad concept, but I took whatever I learned from that. I re-strategized, rebranded, and I relaunched it. And then from one company, I had two. So, another stream of revenue. So that's something that you can do as well. So every challenge will teach you how to listen better to the market, what people want, what people are looking to see. You do not sell people things that you like. You sell people things that they like. So don't think that, oh man, this is going to be cool. I would like this, but the truth is, everyone doesn't like what you like. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You need to find a specific group of people that's going to like what you're trying to sell. You can't just sell everybody pottery just because you like pottery. You have to find a specific group of people that like that to sell it to them, and then you have to make it to their liking. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're going to be creative, and people are going to like things, but you need to find out what people like, and then you need to make a product that serves that person or serves that community, and that way it's going to sell. So you know what I mean? You can't just I make the best fried chicken in town. You probably do, but if you're making the best fried chicken in town in a vegan neighborhood, it doesn't matter. So you're trying to sell fried chicken, and everybody's around here is health nuts. So you need to be able to target your product, and you need to be able to find that target market that will come and buy your product, because that is something that they like, not just something that you like. You're just trying to just sell chicken to vegans. You know what I mean? So, but that's something, man. So listen to the market, man, and it helps you learn how to serve people, man. This is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. We'll see you back here next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Man, coming live from New York. This is a place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and your visions. Peace.